Alrighty, guys. Good morning. The weekend finally is here. Got some things to talk about region wide for today. We have a couple upcoming severe risks to talk about. Starting with today, we do have a risk out in the eastern part of Ohio here. Damaging winds and large hail would be your only concerns out towards Cleveland, Youngstown, Columbus, Akron, back down through Athens as well. And then we also have one that brushes into Illinois over here by Quincy, that general area in far western Illinois. Again, damaging winds, large hail possible with that risk out there this evening. Okay, so I know the big question is about tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be interesting in terms of severe weather here. Now, I'm not going to say this with confidence because there is a ton of uncertainty with tomorrow's risk. But right now, I think the SPC has nailed where personally I think the risk is going to be myself, but they are the experts here as well. We're going to go over a few different scenarios here, but right now they are highlighting the central and southern parts of Illinois and Indiana in an enhanced risk, which is a level 3 out of a scale of 5. What that means is basically it's higher probability of severe weather happening near you. Okay. Around that in yellow is what we call a slight risk. That is level 2. And then in dark green, that's a marginal risk, which is level 1. So the lowest risk would be dark green. The second would be slight risk. And then the third, the highest risk tomorrow would be the enhanced risk. Okay. Hazards tomorrow. Number one is going to be damaging winds. We're expecting these storms to grow into line segments, which when they bow out into lines, we can have intense damaging winds. So that's going to be number one concern tomorrow. Your second concern is going to be large hail here. Highest risk of the hail is going to be in yellow areas, and then that brownish red color around the yellow is going to be your lowest risk, but still a risk nonetheless. So take it seriously. It's just going to be highest where you see those yellow contours. And last but not least, the tornadic threat tomorrow is a concern that we personally see coming to fruition here as well. The highest risk for a couple tornadoes would be in that reddish brown color down toward that enhanced risk in south central Illinois and south central Indiana. Okay. Would not be shocked if they were to upgrade the tornado risk tomorrow, given that the parameter spaces are looking really good for a couple tornadoes. It's just going to be more a question of are they going to be supercell tornadoes? Or are they going to be like embedded QLCS type of quick spin up within the line segments? Both are possible. Right now, is leaning more toward a QLCS or a line segment quick spin up type of thing. Highest risk of that happening is again in that brownish red color. In the green color is a lower risk up into North Indiana, West Ohio, North Illinois. So if you're in any color contour, take it seriously. Just know it's going to be highest off there to the south. And again, that is going to be interesting to see how that shifts. But before we get into the models and stuff like that, let's go ahead and look at the next day, Monday. That system will move off to the east and again puts eastern Ohio at risk here, a low risk for severe weather. More so concerned for damaging winds with this one as well, but we're going to wait until they update tomorrow to get a better handle on things. So let's go ahead and jump back into the big question, which is tomorrow, as that is going to be the main topic of concern. So, number one thing I want you guys to know about tomorrow's risk is there's still a lot of uncertainty. What I mean by that is we're going to look to tonight out in Oklahoma. They have a moderate risk out there where these storms are going to fire up, and that's going to push our way overnight tonight into tomorrow, Sunday morning. How that pushes our way, when it does, where it does, is going to affect how tomorrow's risk plays out. This is at 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. We have a gigantic bow line here stretching all the way from Wisconsin all the way back down toward Tennessee. Okay. That's going to push eastward through the region. Okay. And as it does, it should be weakening. It should not be severe. Not expecting that to be severe. On the south side down here by the Ohio River, maybe. Okay. But up here, North Illinois with Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, nothing severe tomorrow morning. What that may do though, as that pushes across the region, is give us cloud cover, and it may suck the instability out of the atmosphere. The instability is what fuels these storms for later on. So if we get that line to move through and it sucks all the instability out, that second line may not develop as well as modeled. Okay. Also, a second concern with that is with that pushing through, it could also shift the risk north south, mainly south. But if there is a lack of morning convection or morning storms, we could see that risk creep back north, we'll say into Michigan, into Wisconsin, etc. Play it by ear. We have very little confidence in how this plays out. Models have not been doing well at all this past couple of days. So we're going to wait and see. We're going to wait for tomorrow morning. But how tonight's storms in Oklahoma play out will affect how they come over here into our region. Okay. As it stands, though, the model here is showing storms firing up roughly around 6 p.m. into a squall line across central Illinois. And it's going to push into south central Indiana, where that enhanced risk is going to be. The model does try to fire up some storms on the north side there, but instability is lacking majorly because of that first line that went through. So that may or may not happen. It may or may not be severe. Keep an eye on it. But down here in that enhanced risk is where the model is firing off the most storms. And along that line here, we're going to see damaging winds is your main concern. Large hail is a secondary concern, but a couple tornadoes definitely possible given parameter spaces. The shear looks really good. Instability looks good. Stuff like that is coming together for an all hazards threat, especially if you live in this orange enhanced risk area. Okay, but if I show you guys what we're talking about here with the instability, we're going to see these storms out to the west here. They're going to have that major instability to work with. It's going to push our way, push our way. We have instability building in the morning, but we're going to see that huge, gigantic gap here. That's going to be your morning rain that works through, perhaps even early afternoon as well. So it's going to be late moving through, which is also not working with the severe threat as well. It's going to hinder that. But as that moves through, instability behind it does not really fill back in very well unless you're in the Illinois area. And as that happens, that squall line develops where the highest instability is. It's going to push south, and it should be a damaging wind threat as well as large hail and a couple tornadoes. But up here in the Michigan areas, the instability here is just not enough to mention mention a threat of severe weather here. So we'll have to play it by ear. Anything is possible. But for right now, expect that risk to be south of the state lines of Wisconsin and Michigan. Again, that could shift up into Michigan and Wisconsin, but again, it takes a lot of moving parts. So right now, we're just not confident to advertise that. Highest risk will be south into that enhanced risk area across Illinois, Indiana, and down into Kentucky there. All right. Timing on this, again, the main line of concern if you live in the enhanced risk area is going to be probably after 4 p.m., likely going to start around 6 or so, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. So we will keep an eye on things and we'll update you guys if anything changes. But again, it's going to be a play by ear. A lot of moving parts with this setup. We're not confident. Okay. Yeah. Indy 500, Christy, is ongoing there for Indianapolis. So, yes, it will be affected more than likely. I would definitely, if you're going to Indy 500, make sure that you have radar and your alerts turned on because likely we'll see severe weather here. If not for Indy itself, for around Indy. So definitely pay attention if you're going to the Indy 500. No, Dennis, not for tomorrow, but for Monday and even today, actually, you do as well. It's a low risk for damaging winds and large hail. So watch Monday. We'll see if they upgrade it or shift it or anything like that. But yes, Monday, you do have that risk. And Cleveland's not on this risk either because storms are moving southeast tomorrow. So Cleveland would be out of line for any type of threat, with the main threat at least. Could you see a pop-up storm become strong? Sure. Okay, you're pretty close to that marginal risk, yes. But the main bow echo we're going to watch is going to be in that orange risk area. It dives south toward the Ohio River into Kentucky, Tennessee, those areas. I would not be shocked if they upgrade this when there's more confidence. The parameter spaces tomorrow do look concerning. But again, there's so much uncertainty with how tonight's storms are going to play out. So almost zero confidence, but if everything comes together, would not be shocked if they upgrade us to a moderate. Wouldn't be at all. Dwayne, I think Branch County, anywhere in South Michigan, anywhere in Michigan, Wisconsin, generally speaking, right now we're thinking it's going to be on too far north in stable air for severe weather. I'm not going to rule it out, but I think the model trends today are pushing it south. But again, models have been pretty bad lately. We're going to watch it, play it by ear. So if you are near the border of Ohio, Indiana, like you are there, Dwayne, Pay attention, but just kind of know at this point that we're kind of thinking risk may develop a little bit further south of the border. Any other questions, guys? Looking at one more model here, just to give you guys an idea of wow evolvement of tomorrow. We're going to look at these storms firing up tonight in Oklahoma. That could be a big day out there. If you guys have friends and family, Oklahoma, Kansas area within that moderate risk, send them a text. Looks pretty bad out there. As that develops, it'll pushes our way. There it is, arrives in the morning. This is not supposed to be severe. Very well could hinder chances of severe later on, but then we have development back behind it in Illinois, Indiana. There's your nasty squall line. But notice further north here, we're pretty much dry with just scattered showers and potential storms there. Instability looks pretty much zero north of that main line. So looking at everything put together here, wind shear and instability overlapping, we see those bright reds and purples. That's your really good atmosphere down here. That's why we're kind of concerned. But further north here, especially in Michigan, Wisconsin, you get nothing. And even parts of northern Indiana, pretty much nothing here. So we'll see what happens. But right now, we're thinking it's going to be an Indiana, Illinois type of event here. Perhaps Southwest Ohio towards the Cincinnati area as well. But that's going to be a tall task to get it that far to the east. All right, I don't see any more questions popping in here, so I'm going to hop off here. We'll go live again tomorrow. We may actually have chasers in the field, so we may be streaming from Indiana tomorrow as long as Michigan doesn't pop off very well. But we're going to keep an eye on things. We'll have updates on the pages, so pay attention if you are in the threat areas to our page, but also your local NWS offices, as well as other valid sources of information. So with that being said, I'm going to hop off here. Expect a live stream tomorrow. We may be chasing as well in Indiana, depending on how everything plays out. So with that being said, stay safe. Enjoy your day. I'll see you guys later.